Episode 16, The Energy of Enough, Reclaiming Rest, Worth, and Wholeness. The Myth of More. I'm your host, Shannon, the Beauty and Wellness Alchemist, and today we're going to start off with the myth of more. You know those decisions that sit quietly in your heart for weeks, sometimes months, just waiting for you to find the courage to act on them. Well, for me, that moment arrived recently. I'd been contemplating a choice that wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And the decision to step away from a role and a client relationship that had been part of my world for quite some time now. I'm not going to tell you who it is because, well, that just wouldn't be fun. But I realized it wasn't about walking away from something. It was about walking toward my next chapter. I realized that to grow the Beauty and Wellness Alchemist brand, I truly give myself to the consulting, the speaking, the creative direction, the events that light my soul on fire, right? I had to create room for that vision to breathe. And that meant releasing something that no longer matched my energy or aligned with my growth. That's the myth of more, okay? The illusion that adding one more project, one more partnership, or one more yes somehow equals progress to us. But the real growth often looks like subtraction, actually. It's pruning the branches so your energy can flow into what's meant to bloom next. Making this decision reminded me that enoughness isn't about having more. It's about being aligned with what matters most. And when we finally honor that truth, the energy of peace rushes in like fresh air. Now, there's a science of still energy. And I want to start with a quote because there's a quote I love and I carry it with me. And it's one that feels almost like a compass, especially when I find myself questioning what's next. Master Shi Hang Yai once said, "A good life is one lived in completeness, knowing who you are and finding stability in your circumstances. From there, make something good out of your place in the world." Because stillness isn't about doing nothing, you guys. It's about becoming so grounded in who you are that the world begins to move with you, not against you. And I have a mantra that I share with my clients, my friends, and honestly with myself multiple times a day when I feel my energy start to scatter. I don't chase, I attract. I don't chase, I attract. I say it twice because it's both an affirmation and an activation. Okay, the first time is a whisper to your mind, right? But the second time is a command to your energy. When you stop chasing, you start allowing. And allowing isn't passive, it's powerful. Allowing is when you shift from grasping to grounding. It's when you decide you no longer have to prove your worth to deserve peace, success, or love. Energetically, This is when your frequency changes. You move from the sympathetic state, which is fight, flight, prove, push, into the parasympathetic, which is the calm, the creative, the magnetic flow. Scientifically, that's where healing happens. It's when cortisol drops, our heart rate steadies, our skin literally begins to go into repair mode and repair from a cellular level. Still, energy isn't empty energy, it's fertile energy. It's where your creativity regenerates, your ideas recalibrate, and your glow begins again. So this week, stop chasing what's next and start allowing what's meant for you. Because when you move in alignment, you don't lose your energy trying to prove, you preserve it to become. So let's talk about something I see almost in everyone I know. It's what I call the worthiness wound. That's right. It's that quiet belief that whispers, I'll rest when I've earned it, or I'll feel beautiful when I've done more. Or how about this one? I'll be enough when I've proven it. Like, what the hell, right? It hides under our to-do list, our busyness, and even in the way we speak to ourselves in the mirror. The worthiness wound shows up when we confuse achievement with alignment. When we measure our value in output instead of essence. When we keep running, not because we love the race, but because slowing down feels unsafe. Somewhere along the way, we learn that rest equals laziness. Boundaries equals selfishness. And stillness equals weakness. But none of that is true. None of it. It's all lies. Because here's what science actually tells us. When we live in constant prove mode, our nervous system becomes addicted to adrenaline. Even in quiet moments, our bodies keep searching for that next thing to fix or that next thing to post or for perfect. And there's no such thing. But worthiness doesn't live in doing. It lives in being. It's not a reward for productivity. It's your natural state. And when I finally told this customer client, that I was stepping away from our collaboration and, our working relationship to focus on my consulting event work, I could actually feel that old belief rise up in me. What if I'm making a mistake? That way of thinking is exactly why it took me almost 4 weeks to send that message. I had written my email nearly a month earlier, already knowing I wasn't aligned anymore. But that voice in my head kept saying, maybe you can juggle it all. Make sure you're not making this decision based on emotions. Shannon, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I kept analyzing instead of trusting. And in that time, I actually watched what happened to my energy. My passion froze. My creativity literally dulled. And that fire that fuels all my other projects, I watched it like dim. And then one morning, I finally hit send. And instantly, I felt the shift. Like I felt it. It was like the air cleared. I could breathe deeper. Ideas began to start to flow again. And my passion was reignited. I could feel it. That's the power of honoring your alignment. The moment we stop forcing ourselves to fit somewhere we no longer belong, our energy becomes available for what's actually meant for us. So ask yourselves this week, you guys, where in your life are you still trying to earn what you already are? Because the moment you start treating yourself as someone inherently worthy of rest, of peace, and purpose, your light steadies and your beauty expands. Now, a lot of times we're like, Shannon, where do these energy leaks, as I like to call them, and boundary breaks, like, where do they come from? What do they look like? So when we talk about that energy of enough, it's not just about a mindset. It's about how we manage our energetic budget, if you will. Every day we spend energy on people, on projects, habits, emotions, hell, even unspoken thoughts. And when we overspend, we end up depleted. We end up disconnected from our creativity and from our glow. I call these invisible withdrawals energy leaks. Maybe it's saying yes to things that don't light us up anymore. Maybe it's keeping one foot in a situation we've already outgrown. Maybe it's the mental clutter that loops in our mind when our body is begging us to just rest. Energy leaks rarely scream. They seep. They slowly seep in. And you'll feel it when your excitement fades. You'll feel it in your body. Fatigue that even coffee can't fix. Tension in your shoulders, dullness in your skin. Those are your body's quiet signals saying something is majorly off. And then there are boundary breaks. Those moments when we override our intuition because we don't want to disappoint someone else. Maybe it's taking on extra work at work. Maybe it's saying yes when really we need a night of silence in by ourselves. Maybe it's staying quiet just to keep the peace. Each time we betray a boundary, we send two messages, one to our nervous system and one to the world. To our nervous system, we say, my peace is negotiable. And to the world, we say, this is how you're allowed to treat me. Because remember, people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Never forget that. So when we consistently overextend, we teach others that our energy is always available, even when it's not or it should not be. But when we start honoring our boundaries, everything recalibrates. People begin to adjust. They learn that your no isn't rejection, it's respect. Your silent isn't disinterest, it's self-preservation. Your space isn't distance, it's sovereignty. Yeah. When you hold your energy sacred, you set the tone for how you're valued and treated in every space you enter. This week, make yourself an energy reclaim list. On one side, I want you to write what fuels you, and on the other side, what drained you. Then I want you to make one small adjustment, because protecting your energy doesn't make you difficult, it makes you discerning. Because when you seal your leaks and honor your boundaries, your energy becomes magnetic once again. And that, my friends, is the true glow. So, the ritual in enough. Let's talk about how this is all going to come together for our holiday energy prep, right? I'm like, blah, blah, blah. As we head into Thanksgiving, y'all, it's just over 2 weeks away. Let's bring everything we've just talked about into how we're going to move through these holidays. Because while this season can be beautiful, it can also quietly drain us if we're not mindful. Between decorating, between shopping, meal planning, guests, and travel, it's easy to slip back into that chase energy. I've noticed something lately. Everyone online is already decorating for Christmas. Have you guys seen it? And maybe that has a lot to do with the climate of the world right now. Because we're all craving comfort and light. This long government shutdown has impacted nearly everyone we know in one way or another, whether it be emotionally, financially, definitely energetically. So maybe all this early sparkle is our collective way of bringing ourselves joy. And that's okay, as long as we stay aware of why we are choosing to do it. As you decorate, ask yourself, does this bring me joy? Am I doing this to create peace or to fill a space I haven't tended to yet? Oh, now that's a rabbit hole we could go down, and it ain't gonna be for today. But if it brings you joy, light the candle, play the playlist, and let your space glow. But if you feel tension behind the tinsel, pause. You don't need to keep up with the feed. Just stay connected to your peace. Your home doesn't have to look perfect to hold magic. It just needs to reflect you. Create beauty from presence, not from perfection. When it comes to meal planning, guys, simplify, right? Delegate. Choose the dishes that light you up and let others contribute. The goal isn't to impress, it's to connect. Your peace flavors the entire table. And when it's time to go shopping, set your intention before you start. Whisper to yourself, I don't chase, I attract. Move through stores and even online spaces with grounded energy, not with urgency. If it feels rushed, stop and breathe. Your time and energy are your most valuable currencies. And if you'll be traveling this holiday, yikes, protect your peace as carefully as you packed your bags. Bring what keeps you aligned. Maybe it's your love tuner. Maybe it's a collagen sheet mask, right? Maybe it's oil. Bring lots of oil for hydration, face and body. And don't forget your Bouy hydration drops. Even when we're not flying, it's imperative to keep our electrolytes in check, you guys. I know I preach this often every week to y'all. Aim for about 4 to 7 servings of Bouy daily to maintain your energy. It supports your skin barrier and it just keeps your system running smoothly. And another good tip, build in some buffer time. Stretch often. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And remember, the goal isn't just to arrive, it's to arrive whole. So, if your energy starts slipping, step away for a few seconds, maybe 60 seconds. Close your eyes. Take a deep inhale for about 4 breaths. Hold it for about 4 breaths. And do a long exhale for about 6 breaths. And then whisper, I'm grounded, I'm grateful, and I'm enough. Because 1 minute of still energy can change your entire day. So as we move toward Thanksgiving, let's prepare not just our tables, but our energy. Let's decorate with peace. Let's cook with gratitude. Let's shop with intention. Let's travel with grace, because you're gonna need it with all the airport cancellations. But remember, the holidays aren't about how much we do, but how deeply we connect, how fully we show up, and how beautifully we allow ourselves to be. Because the woman who stands in her enoughness doesn't chase joy. She attracts it. She creates it and she radiates it. Never forget that. And if today's message, you guys, resonated with you, I'd really love for you to be part of this growing Beauty Alchemist community. And if you're watching on the YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe. Give this episode a big thumbs up and share it with someone who could use this gentle reminder heading into the holidays. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, don't forget to follow, rate, and share this episode with a friend who needs to hear that he or she is already enough. Your support helps this message reach more hearts and keeps this beautiful energy flowing forward. So thank you on this beautiful Veterans Day. I want to thank all of our veterans who have served in the past and who are currently serving. I have served this wonderful country myself, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I pray that you all have a wonderful rest of the week. And until next week, namaste.